What's going on, you guys? This is your boy DJ Fastnex here with another episode review of Power. Now we're talking about episode 4, so let's get started. I kind of want to do this breakdown with the different the different families, I would say, the different factions, and we kind of just gonna go through that with the individual people in those factions and just talk about what's going on in this episode per se in this particular review. So like, okay, let's start with your boys, the Flynn family. You know what I mean? This family got a lot of things going on with it, especially in this particular episode by itself. With all the stuff that Vic did on that last episode to try to undermine his dad, and the fact that Walter just straight up kind of threw threw Claudia to the wayside, you already know things are going to get wild in this with this family, and not to mention like just all the other outside factors that is coming after this family, like the I think the Serbs were one of them. I think they have another group of people. I want to say, who was it? It was another part of the another family that's coming after them that I'm talking about in this episode. And so one of the things is like, okay, like I said, let's start with Vic. So Vic is already, like I said, last episode the last couple episodes he's been like kind of just going through things, the whole Gloria thing, and they're gonna keep using that, and I think to a point it's gonna get old, and I think maybe this episode was probably the last time they used that as a way to manipulate him into doing something or making him the showcase that he's going off the rails. I think this episode may be the last time they do it this season, at least. I may be wrong on that one, so don't quote me. But yeah, like, so you had the whole issue with him. Just like, yeah, now I'm gonna take my dad down from the inside out. He killed the guy last episode. So in this episode, he's kind of like trying to he's talking to Claudia, and Claudia is just on this high horse, is trying to convince him to help her work some things out to get things done, and just like play ball. And he's like, look, man, I'm done with this. I'm done with my father. Blah 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 blah. And he's trying to tell her how he's trying to work from the inside to get rid of him, and then Claudia's telling him how like her dad is still playing him and knowing how he's gonna work, and he's gonna kind of flip that into his to help him out. So this is the Walter. Let's see, Walter, but he can't get enough of just thinking that he's the man and he knows what's going on. He knows what's best for him. He knows how to run things. And I get being, this big boss in the city. That's going to be a mentality. But, bruh, you need to know when well enough is enough. Like, like he just keep digging a hole for himself. So, like, Vic just messed him up in that last deal. Now he's like, okay, let me try to do something else and bring all these other people in there. Who was it? Doyle came and was like, yo, gotta get that money together. And Walter was like, bro, I got you. It's coming. Don't worry about it. And with all that, Doyle kind of see the writing on the wall. He's like, okay, look, this fool, he ain't got too much left in him. Clearly his kids done left his side. Clearly, things are just bad, and he's on borrowed time at the moment. So it was cool that Paulie decided to actually step up. Like, he even came out and talked to Walter and tried to tell Walter, hey, look, man, you need to not do this, or you need to do it this way. Trying to give him some good advice, and Walter wasn't hearing it. And Paulie was like, look, man, I really love this family, so I'm gonna make sure if I can make things better, if I can help, I'm going to help, because this ain't cool. I don't care how stubborn my homeboy is, my friend is, but I want to make sure he stay around. I don't want nothing crazy to happen to him. So I'm gonna go ahead and take matters into my own hand and basically give Doyle, I think, a nice chunk of money. I don't know if it was the whole thing that he owed, or was it like a partial, set of it, so that way uh, Walter didn't have to pay so much, or whatever the situation may be, because it was looking like Walter wasn't going to be able to get the money due to the fact that the drugs were taken by the cops, and then old boy killed the pharmaceutical guy. So that was the thing. He told Paulie not to do that. He said, "Don't do anything." But Paulie's like, "Man, I love y'all so much. I have to do this." So we get to Claudia, who's trying to have this whole big thing. Now she's trying to get back into it because literally on the last episode they kind of like slick cut her off of dealing in the family business. But then she went around everybody's back and start getting the deal together and saying that her dad is on his way out and they're taking care of stuff. And then I think in this episode she comes and she lies to Vic about it, basically saying that she told them that she's running the day-to-day type stuff and her dad doesn't know. Vic tried to tell her, "Hey, don't be stupid, because he's going to be paying attention to a lot of this stuff. So if he finds out what's going on, he's going to kill both of y'all. Well, both of us." And so she just didn't want to understand that. She's like, "Look, we could take it out." And then she convinces him that we have to kill, their dad. And just that whole aspect is kind of stupid. And then once Doyle comes around to collect from Walter, and Walter gives him the money, Doyle's like, "Oh, you know what? I appreciate the fact that you actually got together and got the money together." And then Paulie is very well. Paulie went to talk to him, like I said, to give him the money. But he's like, Paulie is a very trustworthy and loyal friend to the family. Like you should really like thank him for what he did. And then Walter decided to go off the rails because he feels like it made him weak. I'm like, look, you at this point now, you ain't got nobody on your back, man. So like, take the help where you could get it. But he ain't want to, so he got so pissed, got drunk, went to Paulie's house late at night, and basically told him that he didn't want him to be, he's not part of the family no more. Disowned him, cursed him out about the simple fact of doing this stuff behind his back. And he's like, "Look, man, we don't want to have to deal. I don't want nothing to deal with you no more." So he basically cut ties with Paulie, cut Paulie off. Now the thing about Paulie is we don't know if Paulie's gonna have some type of secret weapon under his belt or what, because that was the issue. Well, not the issue, but more of Paulie has a lot of stuff going, like a lot of things he could do if he wanted to, like, get some revenge or whatever. So the fact that, he cut him off like that so easily, I wouldn't be surprised if Paulie is like a wild card in some ways or another. So let's see how that goes. So let's go ahead and get to this CBI cross trees. What? No. Now let's do this treason talk right here. Your boy Gennard. We start this episode off with him basically high out his mind and getting drunk, and I think he was getting drunk, and basically he started hallucinating and saw the guy that he killed, like it was like he was hanging, and he was like, oh, he freaked out and was like tweaking. So we know, like, this guy, this whole show, I want to say he's killed a lot of people. If I think since the show's been going on, not a lot, but he's killed people. So it's weird to get like, okay, this particular guy who did go beyond, outside of the rules and do stuff he wasn't supposed to do. The fact that he had to kill him is kind of wild. That it's actually taking such a big toll on him. Sorry about that. Like, it's crazy that it's taking a big toll on him or whatever. So, and I kind of could get it because you got the Serbs behind you coming after you. You got the Garcia family coming after you. Yeah, and they looking for their money, and this is a life or death situation. So I can understand the pressure he's under, but I didn't think like him having to kill somebody would actually take him out so bad. But yeah, he's freaking out, he goes to get some advice from Shanti. Well, basically, he tells Shanti that he killed old boy. Shanti flips out. Now, see, that's gonna be another wild card. So we got right now in the Flynn family. I think right now Paulie is gonna be the wild card. The outside, like, that's not directly in the family. Paulie's gonna be the wild card, and then the treason family. I think Shanti is either gonna pick up the reins and do something good, or flip on him real hard. And with that scene that they did, where she basically kind of like snapped, it was like, "Bruh, you do what you doing? I told you not to do it." Blah 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 blah. And then he caught himself trying to put his foot down, and she just her whole demeanor changed back, and she was like, "Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm in it for the long run. I'm waiting for the big payout and all that other stuff like that." In my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, she's gonna let him self-destruct now because he doing some wild stuff. Then not to mention that she picked up on the fact that he was on some drugs, which he ain't supposed to be on. That even sealed the deal for more. Like, something there is gonna happen where she's gonna drop the ball. She's gonna turn her back on him, like when he really needs her. Wild card. But then so we get the fact that he's now in the like it goes further and he's now at the shop, cutting the product down with baby powder. And his homeboy is like, "Bruh, what you doing?" Like why you use the baby powder? He's like, "Hey, look, man, we need to cut this on because we need to get it out." The reason he's doing that is so he could get more product to make it look like it's more product, so he could sell it more and make more money, so he could give it to pay these people off. And throughout this whole time, he's getting text messages from the Murkoff, and he's like Murkovich, I think that's how you say it, and he's basically telling him, "Look, it's almost time for you to pay up. What's up?" And then right after that, he's getting text messages from Miguel, and Miguel's like, "Yo, where my money at? I need some of my money now." And so Gennard is just flipping out, going through things. And the fact that when they was cutting the product up, he was still using it. And then, like, I like how when he first did it, the guy who was helping him cut the product kind of gave him a little like, "Bruh, you need to chill." Like, he kind of just gave him that look like, you need to do that. But then you get this whole thing about how everybody comes, like this group of guys from Treason comes in and it's like, "Yo, old boy is missing. You know anything about that?" He's like, Gennaro was like, "Nah, man, I don't know nothing about it." And and the guy was like, "Are you sure? Because I was there. I the one who know that you sent him a text message asking him to come pick you up when you lost your whip." And he was like, "Yeah, but he never showed up." So the guy was like, "I feel like this is some bullshit." And then he would have probably got away with it at that moment in time if that other random guy didn't run in talking about, "Oh man, they said he died. The dude grandma said he got killed." And so everybody's like, "Well, he got killed? Oh, it's time to go to war. We finna go find out who killed him." Blah, 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 blah. And Gennaro was like, "Nah, bro, don't even worry about that, man. We gotta get this paper, man. If we go out there trying to retaliate, we gonna mess up the money." Then you say something about you need to get the money. You want the money? And dude was like, "Man, you sounding real suspect right now." And then all of a sudden, Gennaro goes and take a hit of the stuff again. And like the people who was working on stuff, none of them flinched that time. But the guy who was talking to him was like, he looking around like, "The hell going on up here? Y'all stepping on a product?" He's like, "Yo, my reputation don't lie. Y'all can't be doing that stuff out here. And you doing this stuff and making me look bad in my hood and all this other stuff like that." So Gennard's like, "Look, bro, you know what? I'm tired of you talking. You know what? I killed old boy because he stepped out of line. I told him not to step out of line, blah, blah, blah. And he decided to do it. So I had to take his ass out." And so everybody was like, "Oh, for real?" They would just start going at it. So Gennard was like, "You know what? I ain't going to go down like no punk. I'm finna go ahead and show you what it really is." So they start fighting. And Gennard, I ain't gonna lie, Gennard was getting work, but he wasn't just taking it like a hoe. He was down there. He was putting up a fight. And it was just so funny how they did this stuff. You could tell it was like a whole bunch of grown ass men who was too tired to be fighting, but they was like, "We still gonna go in on it." And so the guy who asked him about stepping on the product the first time with the baby powder, he kind of went in and just trying to stop that stuff. Like, look, we need to stop this stuff. We need to get things done. And the guy who was fighting Gennard was like, nah, man, I'm out. I ain't dealing with this no more. So that's the first half of treason getting ready to be, out. So I'm trying to think, was that? I think that was the end of his situation. Cause oh no. So Miguel, he had to run up on Miguel, and Miguel ran up on him and was like, "What's up, bro?" It's like, we gotta take care of you because you ain't got you ain't got the money together. What's up? He's like, I think you playing with me, man. I think you playing with my money, and he was about to kill him. But Mireya comes in and she has the medicine to take care of him. They had to tell him to stop, and he freaks out on Mireya real quick because I guess he didn't want her to see what he was about to do to to Gennard. And so I think with Mireya coming in and doing that, that literally did save Gennard's life. I'm not gonna lie, that was straight up saved his life, because if it wasn't that, he would have probably died, or he probably would have been missing a leg or a hand, or something would have happened. Well, at the time, an eye. Miguel would have took an eye, like straight up. And so when he sees what Mireya is coming in, and you can see the wheels turning in Gennard's head, like, hold on, what's that? And realize that he's diabetic. And so I'm telling you right now, that's gonna be Miguel's undoing right there. Now, who enacts it, I'm not sure. I want to be like, because Gennard did that look, he's gonna do it. But depending on what relationship by the time the end of this season is that he has with his brother and Tommy, I think he may convince Tommy and them to help him get that situation done. But if it's not that, Tommy's gonna probably convince Mireya to do it. And I don't know, because I have some choice words with that situation. So yeah, so he has that little deal. When she gets out, Miguel tells Gennard, "Oh man, I was just kidding, man. Can't you take a joke?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. We'll take care of you later. Make sure you have my money," and he let him go. And Gennard was just like, he was like, "Whoo, got me." And so that's how they kind of ended that little plot for this episode. So the next group of people was Tommy, Diamond, CBI, and just the police, presence in this episode. So we got Tommy snooping around, and he sees that Diamond is paying this police officer off that we saw in the last episode. He was the guy who was kind of trying to, since Diamond has been out of jail, he's basically, been trying to get money from him, because when Diamond went to jail, the drugs he was peddling on the streets put old dude's sister, basically in the hospital. She was kind of just out of it, and so he has to, now she needs like almost 24-hour care, and the police officer doesn't have money, so now he's trying to blackmail Diamond. Tommy doesn't know this, so Tommy come to the barbershop, sees this guy trying to hound him down, and Tommy's like, "What the hell is this?" So he asks him, he's like, "Yeah, I don't know who the hell that is, blah 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 blah." Tommy's like, "Man, I don't believe this nigga." So whatever. So that whole situation goes, and then later on you see Tommy's walking down Tommy's leaving and he's dealing with stuff, and he sees that the police, other CBI guys on the street was getting knocked up because the police was going hardcore on it. And so Tommy was like, "Okay, cool, I see that." And so then he goes back to, I think he was going back to the shop, and he sees that Gennard gets back in the car with this guy and gives him some more money. And Tommy was like, "Yo, he might be working with the cops. Let me go find out." So that's when he rolled up on Diamond and was like, "Yo, man, snitches get ditches, like, what's up? Why you over here doing all this wild stuff?" So Diamond had to come clean to tell him, "Look, this dude is shaking him down because of A, B, and C and all that other good stuff." So Tommy was like, "Okay." You know what? I understand. But you know, you ain't gonna be paying that man no more. We finna handle this. I got something for that. We gonna take care of that. But let's go ahead and go back a little bit in the earlier part of the episode where we meet up with Tommy and Mireya. Well, Mireya texts Tommy and says she's ready for that driver's lessons. So Tommy's like, okay, cool, I'm finna go take you on this lesson. So he takes her in this parking lot to drive the truck. She picks him up. He picks her up in the truck because, you know, clearly his car was damaged from the shootout, and so he basically had another car. So he picks her up and she goes to drive in this truck, and you know, Tommy put that charm on. Was like, "What's up, girl? You know, let me show you how to drive." Blah blah blah. So she was acting. She basically was like a beginner driver, and she was getting frustrated, wondering why he had her driving a stick when she wanted to just drive automatic. And he's like, if you could drive a stick, then you could drive anything. Don't worry about it. So he's teaching her. She's learning, and she finally gets the hang of it, and she's driving. And Tommy's like, yeah, there you go, there you go. But then all of a sudden she goes out into the street, and she drives. So when all this is happening, you got these two undercover cops who was taking pictures of Tommy and trying to find out what's going on, trying to find out who is this chick he's with, and you know what importance does she have to him and all this stuff like that. So they're taking pictures. So then when she drove off and left out of the parking lot to just keep driving, they started to try to follow them. And so that's when Mireya starts driving like she was a professional on the streets, and she's just like, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden they try to run up on the train, and the train coming, but they happen to hit that track just in enough time so the train wouldn't hit them. But then it looks like they lost the tail from the cops. Now, see, this is my second sign that Mireya might be, you know, a snitch in some way, whether it's on the good or bad side, or she's watching out for her brother, watching Tommy for her brother, or you know, just anything, any of these crazy scenarios, right? The first is the fact that she was so gung ho about how she didn't want to how Tommy shouldn't mess with her, and she don't want to deal with him because he don't need to be around my brother. Blah 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 blah. Now all of a sudden you did a super major flip. That was too easy. So that's what made me think she probably working with her brother to just spy on Tommy. Another one is like I said, the fact that she played like she couldn't drive, and then when she was driving, she specifically went and did something to get rid of the tail. But they didn't showcase the fact that maybe that was her plan to get rid of the tail. I think she did get rid of the tail, and I think the reason she did that is because she knew the cops were out there taking pictures, which means she's doing something. Something sneaky is happening. So, you know, Tommy takes her to, you know, the zoo, and they're doing all this stuff, and he clocks like one of the guys who's part of Miguel's group of people that he has working with him, you know, some of his little side people. And so Tommy went to the bathroom, and the guy comes in and was like, man, you taking money out of our pockets, blah, 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 blah. And Tommy's like, look, man, chill. I don't want to do nothing that you don't want to happen. Just stay over there, and you just go about your business when you got no problems. And you know the guy had to jump, so Tommy's like, look, quick on his feet. Tommy ended up killing the dude and gutting the dude, and then dragging him and putting him in the stall. I was like, dang, Tommy, you could at least prop him up on the toilet stool. And then he went, and then it was kind of crazy how he looked in the mirror and kind of just went back into, okay, now I'm finna be this charming guy for this girl again. But then at the same time, freaking out because he needs to find out what's going on with the stuff. And so he's like, can we pick up later? So she was like, yeah, cool, whatever, no problem. So later on, that's when Tommy deals with this other stuff. But later on, he meets up with Diamond, because I think that whole point was Diamond. He told Diamond when they do the meetup, let him know. So that was the access to go to the meetup and talk to Diamond with this guy. No, wrong. I'm wrong with that one. He left. What did he go leave to do? He went to go talk to Diamond. That's when he found out about the him paying the guy off or whatever. And so that's when they had that talk. And then he told Tommy told him about how, you know, let him know about the meet so they can meet up with the guy. And he told Diamond about the fact that the dude was looking for him. And he said now he got everybody coming after him because they're taking over that territory or whatever. They're taking money out of their pockets. So after he leaves, we're having that conversation with him. He goes back to Mireya, and Mireya is now at his apartment, and because she's thinking they're going out to eat, but she goes to his apartment, and lo and behold, Tommy done thought about everything, found her favorite meal from her favorite restaurant. She's like, "Oh my God, you really thought about it." Blah 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 blah. So they are, talking, having a little conversation, and then they start kissing, and I'm just like, right there, another red flag. Now she all up in this man. Don't she got a man? Like that's what I'm thinking to myself. Like she got a man, and she all up in Tommy's face. Like something ain't right. Something that ain't right. And then in my mind is like, if I was Tommy, red flags would have been flying already by now. But Tommy, you know how he is. He like, well, she into me now. It's over. Now I'm finna get it. But then that's when he gets the text from Diamond saying, "All right, the meetup is the set. It's set. Let's go. Let's get ready to do it." So Tommy was like, "Yo, I'm sorry, gotta go." And she was like, "Oh, is it family business?" He was like, "No, no, no, no. This is business." So she was like, "Okay." He's like, "Look, you can stay as long as you want, but I gotta go." So he leaves, and I'm thinking something like, "Bruh, red flags. She should not have stayed in your house. Don't let her stay in your house." Like, so now I don't even know what she about to do in his house. Like they probably gonna skip past that, and we gonna find out that she did something later, or maybe she didn't. We never know. So she so he leaves, and that's when he meets up with Diamond. So on the cop side of this whole thing, like I said, they put the tail on Tommy to see what's going on. Was the Franco basically was doing like all this investigation and trying to find out who killed the guy because they found him. So they trying to find out who killed him, and they didn't know anything about it. But then they end up getting information saying that he was uh, one of the guys who might have took the shot at Tommy. And I'm sorry, no, they did that. I'm sorry, they knew that already. So they found him, and they was like, he's dead. So now they was like, what are you gonna do about it? We gotta find out, the situation. And so, what was it? They catch the girl from is a girl that happened to be in the first season, and she was with this guy who owed Vic and him some money, and that's when Vic and Tommy were kind of slick working together in the beginning, like on the first season or whatever. On the first season, they was working together, so it was like a little scene where uh, Vic comes in and basically asks this dude for money, or he messed up, and they killed him. But then they let old girl go because she didn't need to be there, and Tommy helped her out. So I don't know how this came to be, where the fact that they grabbed her, and I might have missed it. If somebody knows, go ahead and comment down below and let me know. But I didn't understand why she was being questioned. I want to say they might have used her to identify who the guy was who died, but I don't think that was the case. I think they knew who the guy was who died or whatnot. And so then he did a questionnaire. He made a little question thing saying, "All right, all these pictures to see who's the guy who you think killed old boy." And so, oh, I'm sorry. Here, that's what happened. She got pulled over with her boyfriend, and they was getting ready to go to jail. But she said she has information about a situation that happened, which was that situation that happened in the first season. And so, she was saying it was Vic and some other white guy, but she couldn't remember how he looked or whatever. So when they gave her the pictures, she's like, "Okay, was it anybody in these pictures who do it?" She pointed at Vic, but they had Tommy in there. And what killed me was when Stacy, Miss Marks, comes in there, and she's trying to get the girl to. Well, she basically calls out Vic, and then she said, "Is there anybody else on this list that looks familiar to you?" And so the girl's like, "No, not really." And this girl will go over there and try to point at Tommy, and her husband was like, "Chick, chill. You cannot be coercing these people to do that stuff just because you want to get somebody. Like, we got to get it right. We got to get the right stuff together. Stop with that bull." So I think that scenario, the way it played out, was good because the girl didn't remember or she didn't say anything. But I think it's gonna be one of those. You know how power is. They're gonna have that one little loose thread in the background where eventually she either gonna get caught again, or she's gonna remember something and come in on her own accord and be like, I do remember one of those guys. I think that one of those guys were another guy that was in there, and it's gonna come back and bite everybody in the ass later. So, so it was funny how they how the husband and wife had their dynamic. It was like, look, you tripping? Stop trying to mess up this investigation or whatever, and try to coerce the witness or whatnot. And so now we got these people on not just Tommy, but now they're on Vic. So that's going to be a crazy situation. And let's see. So yeah, they so speaking of cops, this guy who's shaking down Diamond. We get to this last scene where basically Diamond is like Diamond and Tommy are waiting for old boy to show up because he's dude's still trying to shake him down for some money, and he shows up and he says, "Oh, this is good money, blah blah blah. I'm finna take this money." And then Tommy comes out of there. It's like, "Look, man, we got a deal for you. We can do some stuff. You can help us out. We get you can take this money and go, but don't you want to continue to make money other than just straight up blackmailing us?" And the guy was like, "You think I'm gonna work with you? Please." And he pulled his gun out like, "I kill both of y'all right now and burn this house down, and nobody will ever be looking for you." And then he was so scared. You could tell, like, maybe that guy might have been on some stuff, but you could tell that he was so scared that when when he was pointing the gun, he was too frantic. And then in comes D-Mac. Let's talk about D-Mac before we get to this point. So D-Mac wants so hard to get back in the game. Why? I don't understand, but whatever. Not only was Tommy telling him not to get back in the game, like Tommy said, do not make Uncle Tommy have to do something he don't want to do. Stay out of the game. He's like, if I hear that you in this game, if I hear that you on these corners, I will kill you. Like, and so, kind of put him in his place a little bit. But remember, he took the gun that he gave to his dad earlier in the season. So now he has his gun. He goes to play basketball, and he's with his homeboy, and his homeboy was like, "Man, Uncle Tommy." Well, dude said, "Uncle Tommy won't let me play, but be in the game, blah 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 blah, and get this money, all stuff." And his friend, who started off as a good friend, like that's the friend you need in your corner. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to get back in the game, blah 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 blah." He's like, "Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Your Uncle Tommy is right, man. You're too smart to be out here in these streets." And he's like, "Look, man, they shot at you, man. They came for you. Like, I didn't want to have to be like to go to your funeral and stuff." And basically, he's like, "Look, man, you just need to chill out and be cool." He's like, "Nah, man. This time though, they ain't gonna catch him slipping again if I happen to be in that situation anymore." He's like, "What you mean?" He goes to show him the gun, and the dude all of a sudden just flip. "Oh, you got that gun? You got that heat? Oh yeah, you good now? We ready." I was like, "How you flip so easy?" I'm like, crazy stuff. So that's when they see this chick, love interest, they show, and girl ain't paying them no attention. She kind of is paying D-Mac attention, but she ain't really paying them no attention. They talking trash or whatever. So they kind of walk off and say they don't mess with broke dudes or whatever. So the guy was like, "See, that's why Uncle Tommy need to put me on so I could get this money so I could talk to old girl." So then later on in the episode, you see he shows back up and he's like outside of this convenience store, and the girl shows up again with her friend, and you're like, "Yo, what's up? Let me take you out, blah 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 blah." Her friend stepped in, tried to block, and said, "Nah, man, I know about him. He was in school, but he dropped out and all this other shit." Like, she tried to just straight up block the crap out of this dude. So he was like, "Dang, girl, you really gonna do me like that?" And then she was like, the other girl was like, Nah, you good, man. You cute and all, and if you gonna take me out, that's cool. But if you gonna take me out, you got." I was assuming that she was telling him he need to get his hair cut, like he needs to cut his hair off, because she said something about a fade, and maybe I'm just old fashioned and not pay attention. I didn't know people with dreads could get fades and keep the dreads, but I mean maybe on the side if they cut that part off and then just had the dreads kind of drop, maybe. But she said she told him to give him a shape up too, so I was like, okay, I wonder if he's just gonna get the shape up and kind of just shape it up that way. But thinking too hard about whatever she asked for. She basically told him he need to clean up his act, and then maybe, just maybe, she'll take him out. And he like, "Look, see, I gotta get back on these streets, So that's when he was talking our trash, and then the next time we see him is now downstairs with this corrupt cop trying to kill Tommy and Diamond. And without asking questions, D-Mac come in there and straight up kill this cop, not knowing that it's a cop. He comes in, Uncle Tommy, see, I saved your life, man. What's up? And dude was like, bro, you just killed a cop. Like, what are you doing? You messing up all the stuff. And then it just ends like that. I was like, why did he come in there guns and blazing just killing people? And I'm like, now I don't know how this is gonna affect this young man. If it's gonna make it push him harder into the thing, or if they're gonna now be trying to kind of hide him around so he won't be blamed for the death. It's a whole bunch of stuff. This show's getting crazy, bro. And I'm here for it. So they showed the trailer for the next episode, and that was straight up, if all 10 seconds, that thing was so fast, I was like, was that a real trailer? Or did I get shortchanged? So that means if that's the trailer's that short, that means next episode for to bring the heat. So I'm ready for it. But guys, just go ahead and put down in the comments what you liked about the show. If you have any questions for me, any concerns or whatever, put it down below in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you want to know any more or see any more things I do on my day-to-day or whatever, you can follow me on all social medias. DJ Fat Snacks right here in all social medias, and you'll be able to look up anything that's going on in my life. Until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.